The days of building a simple wrapper around a chat window are behind us. If you are building software in 2026, you're deploying autonomous workflows where multiple AI agents collaborate to get real work done. Hooking a language model up to an API takes an afternoon. The actual challenge is keeping 5 different agents from hallucinating, losing context, or crashing the moment a target website updates its user interface. We call this the AI maintenance tax. It is the hidden, compounding cost of pulling your engineers off new features so they can fix broken agents and patch fragile testing scripts. To avoid this tax, use a 3-column architecture. First, the brain. Orchestrators like Kimi and LangGraph planning tasks. Next, the senses. APIs like Firecrawl and Tavily gathering web data. Finally, the immune system. QA tools like Virtuoso and Mabel validating outputs before production. There are over 30 popular tools spread across these categories right now. Grabbing 3 at random guarantees they won't communicate properly, leaving your team to write custom middleware to patch the gaps. The only way to build a sustainable system is to align your stack directly with your team's technical skills and budget. Let's look at the 3 distinct profiles that actually work in production. Our first profile is the code-first developer. This is for engineering teams building core product features who demand absolute precision. These teams use graph-based frameworks like LangGraph and the OpenAI SDK. Instead of relying on the black box, developers explicitly define how the agents loop, reason, and pass state between each other in code. They feed those agents using APIs like Firecrawl because it enforces strict data schemas, using Pydantic or Zod, guaranteeing the agents receive predictable, type-safe data every single time. The result is granular control over every logic branch, fallback mechanism, and data pipeline in your application. But look at how this scale tips. You get massive control, but you are instantly crushed by the maintenance tax. Every time an API changes or a business requirement shifts, your engineers have to rewrite the underlying logic. And their testing strategy usually makes this worse. Using an IDE copilot to quickly write traditional QA scripts leaves you with tests anchored to fragile DOM selectors. When a UI element changes, those tests break, and the AI cannot self-heal them. The code-first stack gives you incredible power, provided you have a highly skilled engineering team that is ready to dedicate hours every week purely to maintaining the code. Next, we have the enterprise architect. This profile is for large organizations where security, compliance, and uptime outrank customization. Instead of open-source frameworks, these teams rely on Azure-native tools like the Microsoft Agent Framework to keep everything tightly integrated with their existing cloud infrastructure and governance policies. For testing, they deploy AI-native SaaS platforms like Virtuoso QA and Semaphore.ai. These provide built-in audit trails and semantic data layers, allowing business analysts to run validations without writing SQL. Because these testing platforms use machine learning to manage state, they understand the intent behind a test. If a target website updates its layout, the AI actively finds a new path and self-heals the test without human intervention. You can see the impact on this graph. While automated test coverage scales exponentially, the engineering hours required to maintain those tests drop to near zero. The AI takes over the maintenance burden. The trade-off here is steep. You are committing to enterprise-tier pricing, accepting vendor lock-in, and relying entirely on proprietary black box models you cannot inspect or tweak. Enterprise architects know exactly what they are doing. They are trading upfront money and technical flexibility to permanently eliminate their back-end engineering tax. Our third profile is the workflow optimizer. This is for startup growth teams, operations managers, and low-code builders, where the only metric that matters is speed to deployment. These teams skip code entirely. They use orchestration platforms like Kimi Agent Swarm and N8N, dragging visual nodes together and using natural language prompts to deploy agents in minutes. For quality assurance, they outsource the problem. They use managed services like QA Wolf or conversational agents like Kane AI to validate workflows without writing a single line of test script. By taking this route, a small team can achieve 80% test coverage and prototype complex workflows internally with almost zero engineering headcount. But as this flowchart shows, the middle steps are completely hidden inside a black box. You control the data going in and the outputs coming out, but you sacrifice all granular control over the internal routing logic or the agent's memory state. Because you are renting a service instead of owning the software, you forfeit deep technical ownership of your infrastructure. If the platform goes down, your workflow goes down with it. Workflow optimizers accept this deal. They willingly give up technical ownership and code-level precision in exchange for instant execution and zero maintenance headaches. Buying an expensive AI testing tool just to write standard Selenium scripts is a waste of money. Building a complex LangGraph architecture for your marketing team is a waste of engineering time. Let's lock this in with our final scorecard matrix. On the top row, we have the builder. If you fit this profile, you need LangGraph and Firecrawl. Technical teams building core product features have to use LangGraph or the OpenAI SDK to maintain tight control over the orchestration logic. You pair that with Firecrawl to guarantee structured, reliable data extraction. But remember, you are choosing to accept the maintenance burden that comes with writing all that custom code. Now, looking at the middle row for our enterprise profile, the recommendations shift to the Microsoft Agent Framework and Virtuoso QA. Large organizations need Microsoft for compliance and cloud scale, paired with Virtuoso QA to ensure those massive testing suites self-heal as the applications evolve. Finally, on the bottom row for the growth and optimizer teams, we map Kimi Agent Swarm with N8N. If you need rapid prototyping and deployment, stack Kimi and N8N together. You won't have code-level control, but you will have a working system deployed by the end of the day. The most effective agentic workflow for 2026 isn't determined by who has the smartest language model. It comes down to which architecture your team can actually afford to maintain over the next year.